if we're doing this and we're having one of these conversations, it can only mean one thing, right? You're back
Yeah,
in the cage soon.
exactly. Let's
We're
go.
excited. We're always excited to have you with us. Right, let's get into it. So, what can you tell us about your early life? Can you tell us about when you moved from Chechnya to Austria and why? And how was your early life in Austria, settling in after coming from Chechnya? Is there anything you want to share about your childhood? Or tell us. Let's start from the beginning. Let's tell us your story.
Yeah, I was born in Chechnya and I lived there until 10.5 years. But back then we had war in Chechnya, so my parents tried to do everything, so for me, that I have a better life. And it was obviously to move to Europe, away from the war. And yeah, so I've seen many things in Chechnya when I was young. If you grow up in war, you get mature very fast, very quick. Doesn't matter how old you are. So if you see these things, you become older in your head. And so yeah, there are a lot of things that I've seen. Also, people getting shoot and dying and everything. But and yeah, because all of that, my parents wanted a better life for me and for my brother. Back then, I had only one brother. He was just born. Now I have three siblings, two brothers and one sister. And yeah, when I turned 10 and a half, it was 2007, I think. Yeah, we moved to Austria. And yes, I lived there for 17 or 18 years in Austria. And now, since 1 year, almost 1 year, I live in Morocco. Um, yeah, man, the life was hard in Chechnya, to be honest. I remember my father was working. I, I almost didn't see him every day because he wakes up at 4 in the morning, goes to work, and comes back at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., depends on, just sleep, work, that's it. And in Austria, it was much better. He was still working hard, but it was much better than in Chechnya. And yeah, when I always wanted to fight because I was watching movies when I was young, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and all these movies. So I was a very big fan of fighting, and I always wanted to go to wrestling. Also in Chechnya, back in Chechnya, I wanted always to go to wrestling, but we didn't find. One day, my father and me, we went out to look for a wrestling gym, and we didn't find nothing because everything was destroyed because of the war. And one time, one gym we found, I was so happy. I was like, yeah, finally I started wrestling, and they said us it's only for adults, it's not for kids. And then I was so upset. But they had like judo, and my father asked me if I want to do judo. I said no, I don't like judo. I wanted to do wrestling, and yeah, we didn't find. And then after 1 month or something, we found karate. So yeah, karate actually was my first sport, and I did it like for 1 year. And then we had always to move because of the war. Of course, we live 1 month here, and then the next month we live there, and all the time was always the same thing. And yeah, then when we finally moved to Austria, I went to school for the first day in the school. The thing is, the Chechens recognize always each other. Doesn't matter where you are, they always recognize each other. And even if you don't, like, let's say you are a Chechen guy and me too, and if I see you somewhere or you see me, even if we don't know each other, we greet us, we ask like if you need a help, if you need something, like blah blah blah. We hold always together. So I went to the school, and there was one guy, another kid. He came to me. He asked me, "Are you from Chechnya?" I say yes. Yeah, my name is this blah blah blah. We started to talk, and he asked me, "You wanna do wrestling?" I was like, "Holy shit!" Thank God. Finally. I was like, yes. I'm looking so long for wrestling. He was like, yeah, let's go together. I'll pick you up after the show. Give me your number. And I said, I don't have phone. I give you the phone of my father. And so I gave him the number of my father. He called my father. He said, he's gonna pick me up. I went to wrestling, and this is how I started. Then I did it until 13 or 14 years, but then I was a little bit crazy. All man has this time in the 13, 14, 15 years when they become crazy doing bullshit. And so yeah, there I stopped to I stopped with sport. I was only fighting on the streets, a lot of fights on the streets. And one day I remember I was talking with my cousin. I think I told this story already. And we were talking about the fight John Jones versus Rashad Evans. And I was a big fan of Rashad Evans back then. And we were, arguing, no, I think Rashad's gonna win. No, John's gonna win. No, Rashad's gonna win. And I asked him, I have a question. How the fighters live, how they do it, like work and training and fighting. How is it possible? And he said to me, yeah, this is their work. This is what they do for living. Then make a click. I was like, for real? Yeah, of course they get paid, and this and this. Of course he didn't have experience too, but more experience than me because he's much older than me. And then from this day, I started to train, only train every day, 2 times, 3 times. I was crazy. I didn't have nobody in Salzburg to train with because all the people were, they want to do party and all the easy life. So I was by myself, always watching YouTube videos. I see something, I call my little brother, come here, I have to try something. Then I try it on him, then I go to training and I try it on other people. So this is actually how I started until I think my third fight where I met Ayub Gaziev. And back then Ayub Gaziev, he also came to Austria. He was new in Austria. And he came as European. No, he was second place in European Championship in kickboxing back then. And I was watching his fights. I had my third fight, and he has his MMA debut. And this was the first time in Austria when I saw that kind of level of kickboxing. Oh, he destroyed his opponent. This was crazy. It was such a nice technique. And I was wondering who this guy is. And after my fight, he came to my locker room. We greet us, blah blah blah. Where you train, where you live, and let's catch up together. Let's train. And so yeah, we gave our numbers each other's, and this is how we started. Then I started with him. Back then I thought I'm really good at striking, and then we made sparrings and. Oh shit, he destroyed me. Kickboxing sparring, he was beating my ass up, so bad. I was like, holy shit. And yeah, then I just took him down and then I holded him there. I said, now what you gonna do? Yeah, this is how I actually started. He teach me kickboxing, I teach him wrestling. We helped each other because we didn't have like real coaches or partners. And once I turned 18 years, I started to work. And while I was working, I was still training twice a day. I got up in the morning always. I went to jogging. I run, do strength. Then I go home, shower, and then go to work. Work there like 10, 11 hours, come back, straight training again. This was my lifestyle. I think 3.5 years. I did like this, and yeah, when I turned 18, I started to travel a little bit. My first training camp, my first experience in another gym was in Sweden, All Stars. Then there I sparred with some guys who were also UFC, and when I started to spar with them, and sparring was going so well. And then I was like, okay, they are actually UFC fighters, and I'm doing very, very, very well with them. So this is how I also became more, how I got more motivation and more confident. And yeah, this is how it all started actually.
Wow.
Long
Wow.
story.
And Ayub is still in your corner today. Everywhere you go.
Yes,
We know if
exactly.
Ismail's
Yeah.
fighting, Ayub is coming too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two guys who started together. Also, another crazy story. I should fight in NEFS, the organization called NEFS. I don't know if you know it. NAFAFS. It was in Croatia. And back then I heard Stipe Miocic also fought there. And who else? Someone else also fought there, one day in UFC. And I was like, oh, okay, crazy. So if I fight there, I have a chance to get, in the UFC or whatever, to get known. And they were making it so big. And I was like, okay, I want to fight there. I want to fight there. So I got a fight. And they changed my opponent like 3 times. In the end, I got one Croatian guy, and the fight should be on Saturday. I asked my boss back then if he can give me a vacation for 1 week because of the fight, and of course he said no. I don't know. Always when I asked them about sport or something, they didn't like it. They were like, "No, you have to work. Yeah, you have to work. This is the tradition in Austria. Work, 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 and that's it." I was like, "Okay, what can I do?" And Friday was I was lucky. Friday was, how you say it, a day when you have free, everyone.
Public holiday. Public
Yeah,
holiday.
exactly, public holiday. So I was lucky. And after on Thursday, after my work, I went to Croatia with two of my friends who don't know anything about sport, because back then Ayub didn't have papers, so he couldn't go out from Austria. And I was like, okay, what can I do? It is what it is. So we drive 8 hours, 8 hours with car to the fight. We came in the night, Friday weigh-ins, and I had 200 or 300 grams only, too much. And they were panicking, like, oh, you have to cut this. No, no, 300 grams. I was like, okay, okay, no problem. Just gonna walk a little bit around, it's gonna go away. Okay. I was sweating a little bit. I did my weight. My opponent came, he was 3 kilograms even too much. And first they tried to hide it, but I was lucky someone was there and he told me that. And then we asked him why they let him. He cannot do anymore, please, blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm here already, so doesn't matter. Yeah, we're gonna pay more. I said, okay, whatever. Then I think on Saturday they told us no, we moved the fight for tomorrow because something happened. Holy shit! I have to work on Monday. Yeah, we're sorry, blah blah blah. And another story. Also, the money we will pay you after the fight because we didn't make it to the bank and blah blah blah. Was really, yeah, suspicious. But I said, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm here, so no problem. And then on Sunday, we were about to go to the event. We were just about to drive, and someone said, "Hey, plan change. We changed the arena." Oh, fuck. As a fighter, all these small things in the fight day, it breaks you. Even if it has nothing to do with your fight, but still, you get like, oh, it's too much stress for your head. I was like, shit. Okay, they changed the arena. We went to the arena. It looked shit. I was such a low level. It was crazy. No people, nothing. It stinks. Our locker room was so small, 10 people inside there, and nobody can move. And the one guy who was with me, he holding pads like this because I don't know nothing about sport. Mm. The fight started. No, the fight started 3 hours later, as it should be. And in the third fight, started, my friend came to me and he told me, Ismail, I don't know if you heard, but they don't gonna pay now. They asked me to give your bank account, blah blah. They're gonna transfer the money after. So, but I don't know. It's two guys canceled the fight because of that. They said no. They don't trust them. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna fight or not? And I said, of course, I'm here already. What are you gonna do? Because of money, I don't go back. Let's fight. I said, okay. And I gave him my bank account. Um, then my fight started. I was so nervous. It was my eighth fight, I think, but I felt like it was my first fight. I felt so bad, man. I was in the cage and I was talking with myself like, what I'm doing here? I don't want to be here. And if you say this in your head, it's not good in the fight day. The fight started. He was really strong, physical. Like was really strong, like strength. And this was the first guy that I couldn't take down. And when I couldn't take him down, it broke me again. I was like, fuck. And the fight goes on, we fight. And I make again takedown, and it was so slippery. I slip, and he lands on my mount. It's like, no way. And he's bam, elbow, everything, 3 minutes. Everything. My face looked really funny. And, and then the time was out, rest. It's the break time. I go to my corners. Two of my friends, they come. I'm already. I'm so depressed already, and their faces made me even sad, more sad. Because they come in like this. Yeah, Ismail. You have everything good. I was like, fuck. Yeah, you just fight. Give your best. Let's go. I'm like, okay, I do. Second round started again, pop, and finally we were in the cage. I was controlling him. I think I catched him with my knee to his liver, and he made. I felt that, and then I took him down. I was like, wow, finally, now I give everything back. Pam, I give him back, and then he sweeps. He lands on my guard. Then he gives me bah. And at one moment I saw the chance, and I had it on triangle choke, and I won. It was already 12 a.m. or something, or almost 12 a.m. and I have to work at 8:30 or something. So I was thinking of my work too. It was a really hard fight. And after the fight, they make interviews and everything. And I was like, okay, now I have to go because I have to work tomorrow. So sorry and thank you and blah, blah, blah. Then we drove 8 hours back home. And, I was sleeping, waking up. Once I opened my eyes, I see my company. I was like, no. Shit. And I go inside the company, the boss comes, he looks at me very mad, like, how do you look like? I say, yeah, I had a fight. Sorry. Yeah, let's go work there. And then they gave me, on this day, I was so tired and they gave me the hardest works, I was truck mechanic. So they gave me the hardest works, the things were so heavy. I hated my life this day. But I won, and this was, I didn't get the money either, so yeah. But at least I won.
That's a crazy story. Very different from how you are now.